Another fan base that also wants to feel some hope again, but they're going to get a change, is Auburn. This mega board thread coming from auburnsports.com. Our Pete Nakos wrote a story, Auburn coaching search intel, latest on the search for Hugh Freeze's replacement. And of course, mentions the usual suspect names. Tulane's Jon Sumrall, obviously, is the one that we've connected to Auburn the entire time. The names that Pete has heard connected to the Auburn job: interim coach DJ Durkin could get a chance. USF's Alex Golish, former Penn State head coach James Franklin, Georgia Tech's Brent Key, Memphis's Ryan Silverfield, and Missouri's Eli Drinkwitz. Now, Ari, also Justin Hokanson, who writes for Auburn Sports, had a really good story about the process Auburn is going through and how, while their job opened up later than some of these other ones, they have moved very quickly. And it seems like John Cohen, their AD, has talked to some candidates already, and they feel like they have a pretty good handle on the pool.
Yeah. Is this a good time to go on my James Franklin should go there rant?
Do it.
I think that every single time a place like Auburn, or any place in the SEC or Big Ten for that matter, hires a coach, you do so with the hope that that person could not win you only a conference championship and make a deep playoff run, right? Like, that's the ultimate dream. And I think that Auburn is a program that, for as long as I can remember, and you're a better SEC historian than me, has been very, very low and very, very high. They are the most roller coaster experience for fans of any team. And I wonder, if you make this hire, does the goal have to be go get the person that you think is the highest likelihood of winning you a national championship? Or do you go get the person who puts an end to the roller coaster, provides stability, might win a national championship, but if he doesn't, will provide you the groundwork for your following hire to be the right person? I always wonder if whenever you make a hire, if it has to be one hire away. Are you always one hire away?
See, I don't think it's like that anymore. Like, the example I always use, because I covered it as a beat writer, is Ron Zook going into Urban Meyer at Florida. Ron Zook laid the foundation for Urban Meyer. That's fine going from 2004 to 2005. That doesn't work anymore in 2025 going into 2026, because the roster might not be there anymore. They may just all leave.
Yeah. I wonder how much, and I guess foundationally, how much of it is roster? Would you say it's 75%?
The roster, if you can keep the Auburn roster together, I think you feel like that's a pretty good place to start, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so for sure. I think part of the reason why Hugh Freeze is not there is because the roster was better than the output. Some people get fired because their team stinks, and the reason why their team stinks is because they did a bad job of accumulating talent. I don't think that's what Hugh Freeze did wrong. That said, James Franklin might get an eye roll from Auburn fans because he got fired at Penn State for never getting over the hump and winning a national title.
But would you take 10 to 13 wins a year at Auburn? And the answer is yes.
If you're Auburn, you would want to be on that roller coaster and playing in the games that Penn State has played in every year. And then who knows? Maybe James Franklin, I just fundamentally push back at the notion that a person who has had a hard time winning big games could never win them ever. I don't know, if I view it that way.
Because we are of the theory that if you knock on the door enough times, eventually you get through.
I think Auburn should be hiring somebody who knocked a lot. He knocked a lot, and has been a coach in that conference before. And I think stability and year-over-year success is a pretty important aspect of being a happy fan. And Auburn hasn't had that. So instead of thinking, who's the coach that gives us the highest likelihood of winning a national title, I think I would go for the coach that gives me the most likelihood of winning 11 games every year and playing Alabama in meaningful atmospheres over and over and over again until you finally break through. That's how I view it.
Go to Gametime. Download the Gametime app. Look up Wake Forest football. You will see the menu of all the tickets that are available. You'll see exactly where you'd sit. You can also do that if you want to go to, say, I don't know, the Notre Dame Pitt game this weekend. There's some good seats available for that game. You can get some pretty good ones in the high $100 range. And again, you'd see exactly where you'd be sitting at Acrisure Stadium. The price you see is the price you pay. You want to go see Texas and Georgia in Athens? Yeah, you know you do. They got tickets for that on Gametime. They got tickets for Oklahoma, Alabama, and Tuscaloosa on Gametime. Tickets for everything. And as the game gets closer, sometimes the prices drop. You never know. So download the Gametime app, find your game, redeem the code STAPLES at checkout, and get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That code is STAPLES at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Gametime, swipe, tap, ticket, go.
And also, James Franklin, like Jon Sumrall seems to be the layup here, right? And I don't have a single bad thing to say about Jon Sumrall. But has Jon Sumrall done anything in his that makes you feel like he has a higher likelihood of winning a national title than James Franklin?
He did essentially some of the stuff that Franklin did early in his career.
Right. But like there's no national championship on his resume.
No, he won the Sun Belt twice at Troy. In both years he was there. He took Tulane to the American Championship game last year. They didn't win it. He may take Tulane to the American Championship game again this year. He might make the playoff this year.
5 years of going to your conference championship game or winning it in 5 years of being a head coach, which is
it'd be 4 and 4.
4 and 4.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
That sounds like a Wendy's deal.
It does. Hey, if you want to come back, Wendy's.
You missed the spicy nugs, dude. I'll tell you. Like that's you just got a free ad there. I will smash those spicy nugs. Those were actually like really good.
They were very good. Very good. Well, we usually tell you afterward if we didn't like a product that we had a sponsor for, but we loved that one.
I think Wendy's has a
those are awesome.
Real case for being the best fast food nugget out there, depending on what you prefer. But anyway, I think James Franklin's an attractive candidate.
I am with you on that. I think if Florida State makes a move, I think he should be considered there. I think Auburn should be considering him. I'm pretty sure Virginia Tech is considering him and would love an answer if he'd like to come. I think he's going to have a job next year. I just don't know where he's going to be.
And I hope for him that he's at a place that actually gives him an opportunity to play in those games that Penn State played. I think he's worthy of a top 15 job in America still.
I think you're right. And I am fascinated to see where he ends up because this cycle is there's so much going on. There's so many jobs open. And like we kind of touched on it, we'll touch on it more as the weeks go by, but you're starting to see the NFL cycle start spinning. There actually aren't a ton of obvious coordinators in the NFL that are just guaranteed to get head coaching jobs. So you may see NFL teams dipping into college football too. This is going to get pretty wild here in the next.
And it might be nice for James Franklin to not live in a constant world where he's being directly compared to one of the most bulletproof and sustained successful programs in the country every year.
What?
I was just saying, like being compared.
So you don't want to go to Auburn, is what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe not Auburn.
I was like, wait, are we talking about Auburn or Penn State?
No. Auburn would be a bad fit if that's the case. But if he gets one of the other 6 jobs that are open, he doesn't have to get compared to the best program in college football every day of his life.
Yeah, that is the issue when you are up against Ohio State or up against Alabama as an annual rival. So yes, that is
Ohio State has been more. It probably feels like will be more consistent for the 10 years out now too.
I don't know. I think Kalen DeBoer's doing all right. So he may have Alabama in the same place. Who knows? But I'm with you. I understand exactly what you're saying there. And I do think, given the number of jobs, we will see James Franklin somewhere. I just don't know where yet. And that is going to make the next month.
Yeah. I'm now
very fun
because I was thinking about writing a column and I'm like, maybe that's the case why he's not a good fit for their job.
Uh-oh. You talked yourself out of it already?
No, I'm just saying, like, if he failed once because he couldn't get over the hump by playing an immovable object as a rival, that would be the same exact situation, except the rivalry would be even more heated in Auburn because Penn State and Ohio State isn't the Ohio State Michigan.
Right, it's not the Ohio State Michigan.
I don't know. We're talking stuff through. It's a podcast, man.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm glad I helped you workshop it. I appreciate that.
Hold on. Here, you hear that? That's the delete button.